Alright, here we are today, guys, with a ladder video. We're going to be playing the Byah deck, but with Grens instead of Predator. This is sponsored by Copycat. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do a Byah deck video, and I apologize, this is not that. It is close with the Grens, but I do think the deck is a lot weaker with Grens instead of Predator. But we're just going to do like 5 or 6 ladder games with this deck. We're going to see how it goes. Yeah, I think the Predator is like dramatically better because it has Raider. Like they cost the same as Grens, but Raider is super strong. Also, like you're gonna be weak to catch it with the Byah deck anyway because you have Shock Troopers, but going with Grens as well makes it even weaker. You're gonna be weaker to Chuggy as well. Copycat saying Grens being fast versus Predator being slow is a big difference, and that is true. But I actually think a slow Raider unit is still better than a fast not Raider unit. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. I just like the Raider is just so strong because the whole point is that you set up Shock Troopers, and then you protect the Shock Troopers from vehicles with Predators that have Raider, and you can't do that with Grens because Grens don't have Raider. That's the big issue, really. Like generally you're looking to set up that unit combo, but you can't do it. It's kind of like reverse mutant Chuggy. Like you have Shocks as the Chuggy when they stay and stand still, and then you have Predator as the mobile Raider unit that kills the vehicles. But yeah, we have Grens instead today, so we will see how that goes.
3, 2, 1. New objective.
So I'm going to start rifles because I don't think my deck's going to be that great late game, and we're getting jump jet rush, so it's a good thing I started rifleman. So obviously we'll just get a second rifleman. We're just going to go and stand by our harvester spot. I'm also going to go to his harvester spot, so that if he does harvester I can block it. He went Shock Trooper, alright. I mean, I'm okay with this as well, like he gets to eat my rifleman, but it means that he doesn't make a harvester because he's built 2 40 cost units. I have my own Shock Troopers as well, so I can just easily contest him with Shocks versus Shocks. He's probably going to make a play for my harvester at some point with these jump jets, so I need to be ready for that. There's the harvester. I do want to put some pressure on this. I don't have to tech switch. This is one of the big upsides of Grens, actually. If this was Predator tank, it would cost way more to switch into it, and then it would never get to the harvester in time. Like, by the time a Predator got to the harvester, the game would already be over. Like, it's just pointless. Whereas the Grens at least get there really quickly and can start taking out that harvester. So this is a time when the Grens are actually a lot better. I do think it's going to be infrequent when the Grens are better, but that is a good example of when they are better. Obviously these Grens were trapped by these 2 Talons, so it didn't seem like a lot of point trying to save them. I'll put it on the harvester if he's going to leave one there. Grens do reasonable damage, like a single Gren on the harvester will take care of it in not that long a time even. If it was like a missile trooper, I'd be like, okay, this is a waste, and I'd try and do something else. But a Gren, yeah, he has to kill it eventually. You can't just ignore a Gren, it's too much damage. Gonna boost this Shock Trooper, bring that in. Looks like we're pretty far ahead though. Swipe this around. Get this guy down here. Probably gonna need another Shock Trooper for the top pad. And that should be game. I don't think you can get back on both pads. Alright, there you go. 1-0. I know I had a bit of a level advantage there as well, but I don't think it mattered too much. It was like maybe the first shock would have been a little bit more impactful, but other than that, it didn't really make much difference.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, same map. And we're up against a level 11 base again. Feels bad, man. See what this guy does. No rush this time. He's going to harvester first. Double harvester. Can't get there to block it, so I'm just going to chill. I will make a second rifleman though. And go and stand on this other pad. Now we're going to just wait and see what he does. If he does nothing for like a long time, if I get to like 100 tib, I'll send a Grenadier at his harvester. But yeah, we're going to wait and see what his first thing is. It looks like we're going to be going Pitbull. Yep. Could go missiles, but why? Pitbull just beats laser drones by so much. Obviously he's going straight for my harvester. He knows how to win a game of Rivals. He knows the win condition. Alright, so we're going to kill that laser drone. Make another Pitbull. Get them both on this Venom. And then we'll just wait here until the rifleman's in position, and then we go over here. Very easy first missile. I'm tempted to make a grind and go for the half, but I think it's probably better just to save my money in case I need a hammerhead. He could potentially make a basilisk soon, and I don't want to have enough money for a hammerhead, so I'm just gonna send a. Ooh. This is a match. This is a unit I don't want to see, because like obviously if I had Predator instead of Gren, this flame tank is a lot easier to beat. With just Pitbull, it's a bit rough, but we have +2 levels on it, which helps a lot, obviously. And we can just stack Pitbulls to kill it. But this is where Grens are much worse than Predator. Much worse. Flame tank is definitely a matchup where I'd rather have Predator. I don't mind him killing this like 3-man rifle squad. It's kind of whatever. I don't really see a reason to need infantry at the moment anyway. He's only making air and vehicles. Alright, so we are going to win. If this was a level 13 flame tank, this would be a lot harder, because it would actually do like way more damage to the Pitbulls. So the levels matter quite a lot on that one.
You are victorious. 3, 2, 1. New objective.
ED power. Level 10 base this time. Wow, okay. I don't know what's going on today with ladder. A lot of the time people ask me why I don't do more ladder videos, and this is a large part of it. Because you do queue into a lot of, like, ladder has levels. You get a lot of level-based wins and losses. Not so much losses for me anymore, because I'm all 15s, but back in the day, I mean, when I didn't have all 15s, I would get a ton of losses to levels. And a lot of those games were not very interesting. So this is one of the main reasons I tend to do event matchmaking for my videos instead of ladder. Because you do play against a lot of underleveled players in ladder. Alright, so we're going to go shocks here because we have this rifle mirror that we want to break up. The dogs get one shot by my... Okay, I'm going to focus this turret down. This is what you should do when people turret you, I believe, just focus it down. But yeah, the dogs are terrible against my missiles because of the level difference, which is kind of annoying. It kind of ruins the gameplay. But this is not going to be an interesting game because obviously I'm going to win by a lot because I have a massive level advantage.
Building online.
But we shall continue to play, talk about how to play the deck at least. So obviously we go Pitbull against the air. We could go Hammerhead, but we don't want to invest a lot of money in a Hammerhead when a Pitbull will do. And then we're going to try and set up this like Shock Trooper plus Pitbull thing. So we use Shock Troopers for the infantry and we protect them from the aircraft with Pitbulls. That's pretty standard like combined arms gameplay.
Unit ready.
So I've gone for another Shock Trooper here because I have 2 Pitbulls and this one's about to go down. So even though there isn't really a good target for the Shock on the field at the moment, I know that it's what I'm going to need most likely. Because my opponent is extremely likely to follow up with Jump Jet Troopers in this spot. That would make like the most sense. So I'm preparing for that. I'm going to get a Hammerhead in case the Talon's relevant. It doesn't look like it's going to be. Yeah. So unfortunately the levels mean that's not a very interesting game.
Objective complete.
Kane lives.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, this one should be pretty interesting. This guy Bear Bow is pretty good and he plays snipers. So our deck is quad infantry, so we could be we could be in a lot of trouble here against snipers. Normally I would say one of the best answers to snipers is Predator tank, actually. It might sound weird to say, but a lot of the time Scorpion's actually better than Predator. But tanks are actually really good against sniper decks, because quite often what happens is they go dogs, and then they use dogs to block your infantry from getting to the snipers. And if you have a group of tanks, you just run over the dogs, and then also run over the snipers. Because tanks, like snipers are such low hit points, that they actually die to dogs, they die to tanks reasonably quickly. So what I'm going to go for instead is I'm going to go for Shock Troopers. And we're going to try and just beat through the missiles with Shock Troopers. But as you can see, this is going to be an arduous process. This is why you use dogs to block for snipers, by the way, chat. Because if you use infantry, then things like Shock Troopers can just run you over. Alright, so we basically just won this missile by just brute forcing it. We just kept sending units at his snipers and he couldn't clear them all before the missile fired. This is one of the big issues with snipers as well. Snipers tend to be weak first missile because of things like this. Of course, as we go, the further we go, the more powerful the snipers are going to get. And this is when it starts to become a problem. Because now he has map control instead of me. and I don't have the money to like keep throwing stuff at it. So I have to switch into these. Other units. Now this is another spot where Predator would be a lot better, because obviously the snipers are going to absolutely ruin my day when I'm trying to use shocks and grens. Yeah, there goes the grens and the shocks. He has a lot of snipers as well. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of snipers. I don't have another anti-infantry unit as well. I only have shocks and rifles, so I have no choice but to continue throwing these guys in and hoping that we just overwhelm his snipers, which does happen. I mean, you can see here I am overwhelming the snipers, and this is a great example of why snipers are not great in the metagame. That's a great example of why snipers aren't great. His snipers are level 14. I don't know how much difference that matters. I don't know how much that matters, but obviously if they were 15 it would be a little bit different, but I don't actually know if there's any breakpoints there. So yeah, that's a good example of why snipers aren't great. You can just kind of throw infantry at them.
3, 2, 1. New objective
Oh wow,
received.
2 fuses again, and again our opponent's level 11 base. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why we're getting all these games on 2 fuses. Well, at least his rifleman are level 13, so we've got an interesting game at least. Looks like he's stalling, so I want to charge. Now this is one of the advantages of being this like rifle into shock deck. When people are trying to stall you out with rifle mirrors, you can just go straight into shocks and break up the rifle mirror really quickly. It forces them to tech switch as well. Like if he's trying to double halve, which if he's stalling he probably is, then he can no longer stall with riflemen against these shocks. He has to tech switch, which is expensive and pushes us into a different state of the game. Like now I know that he's going to be a Razorback deck, which, you know, means I have information that I previously didn't. And I know that I need to go Pitbull to counter it and such. His Razorback is level 11, which kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? We need to move these shocks around. We need to be very careful here, because this Razorback can survive a Pitbull long enough to fire the missile. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, cool. Oh, level 11 Orca as well. I feel bad, man. This might not even kill the Pitbull. Okay, at least it killed the Pitbull. So we'll get another shock trooper here. And we're going to shoot this guy and run, so he shoots my shocks, like that. Now, I could boost to hunt it down, but I don't really care about it too much. Like, yeah, I was pretty sure I could get it anyway. And even if I didn't, I wasn't that fast. Like, this one hit point for the Pitbull is not that high value to me. If it had died to another Orca volley, I'd be okay with that. Alright, there goes the Razorback. That obviously matters a lot, the 2 levels on the Razorback. That's definitely a big deal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stack our Pitbulls. So whatever he does, he's going to take some hits. Yep. And you can see how this wall of shocks, like, this is basically the same thing we'd be doing with Predator tanks against vehicles, but we do it with Pitbull against aircraft. We have this wall of shocks that prevents infantry from getting at us, and then we make Pitbulls to defend against Razorbacks that kill the shocks. So there's no answer to shocks anymore. Once again, we use shocks to absorb the hits. There's no answer to shocks, which means that, because the Razorback goes down to the Pitbulls, there's no answer to shocks. Which means that he just has no way to kill these Pitbulls, apart from the Orca, which is really inefficient, and you can see how just pushing in over and over doesn't work. Alright, we're up against Great Boy.
New objective available.
No idea what he's playing, but based on the strong arm, I would guess it is Bike Rush APC. If we see Dog's first unit, then I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, it's not. Interesting. I have no idea what he's playing. He's playing strong arm, so I don't think it's going to be tech. I don't know what's going on with this rifleman. I thought maybe I was getting rushed there for a second. Maybe he's just trying to distract me to get to the middle. Alright, well we have slight defender's advantage here. I'm actually going to move down like this.
Unit ready.
If we want to, we can break up the rifle mirror with a shock trooper, which we probably will do with our next unit. If he makes another rifleman, I'm going to go shock trooper. I'm just going to go shock here anyway, because he has defender's advantage. So this is a way to break the defender's advantage. So then we get control of the pad. Going to back up a little bit, go Pitbull. I'm okay with him switching to Talon, because, you know, that's good for me anyway, because you don't want to go air against Pitbulls, because Pitbulls are so strong. So in a GDI mirror, you generally don't want to make aircraft, unless you have to. And the shock troopers kind of force him into Talons. That's a bonus for having the shock troopers here. Yo, Sarpedon, thanks for the 25 months, dude. Looks like he's trying to distract me a lot with these weird routings. We'll go for another shock trooper here. Get rid of this Talon. And we'll get another shock trooper, because we need to be careful of jump jets going everywhere. So now what I want to do is have a jump jet on the back pad and a jump jet on the front pad. Sorry, a shock trooper to prevent jump jets. And then I'm going to have 2 pit bulls preventing the talons. And then we're going to use Jackson here as well. Clean up this talon quickly. I think I'm probably going to go for another shock trooper. So this jump jet is going to try and go back here at some point, would be my guess. Because he needs to contest that pad. So having a shock trooper there stops it. And if he does a talon, then the pit bulls are mobile enough to go back up there and stop it from happening. We might go for a, we might go hammerhead soon. We can just pit bull mirror. If I was playing Predator, I would just have gone Predator to fight these pit bulls. So I guess I should go Gren. I kind of feel like the Predator has more value than the Gren though. That's probably just my natural bias against Grens though. Alright, so we want to move this forward a little bit. Having the Grens against the APC is about the same as Predator, I'd say. Either way, you have something that can crack an APC, so it's kind of not a big deal. Oh, we need to kill this turret. Always focus down turrets. They do way too much damage to leave alive. Bring this shock over. We can leave a pit bull on the back for now, although it will get jump jetted at some point. That's something we need to be aware of, so I'm going to make another shock trooper. Honestly, like, the APC matchup is just good for the deck either way. Like, if you had Predator instead of Gren, this matchup would still be good for the for this deck. Whoops. Oh, soft misclicks. So many misclicks. Alright, let's try and fix that. Yeah, there goes the jump jets to the back pad. Gonna need another shock trooper. Did a lot of misclicking there, it really hurt me. We might lose this middle pad now. We need to get on, we need to get control of it and get onto it with the shock troopers. There we go. I feel like a Predator would not be dead if I made Predator instead of Gren, but maybe I'm wrong. Predator's just way tankier. Now we need to boost this over here because of the jump, because of the Talon. I don't think we're going to kill it in time. No, we didn't. I have a lot of spare cash as well, so I just don't know what to do with. I could make a hammerhead, but it just doesn't feel like a very high impact play against a single Talon. Probably should have there, but I didn't really have the pop cap for it. Yeah, I guess Gren to crack the APC. I really feel like Predator would be a lot better at this than Gren. Predator also shrugs off these turrets, which Gren doesn't. Yeah, like one Predator could easily kill multiple APCs, one Gren is really struggling. So I think against APC, yeah, I mean, this Gren's already dead. Against APC, the Grens seem a lot worse. And that is a pretty common matchup at the moment.
Unit enhanced. Unit lost.
Try and get this guy around here. We're going to be ready with Hammerhead. Okay, it looks like we might live. Oh, this one looks about to die. There's a Hammerhead in this pad. Drop trooper there as well. Try and get the Hammerhead over here. Oh, I misclicked. Oh, is it going to be too much? Oh, so just alive. Just alive. I don't know how long this Hammerhead can live though. Nice, I got the Talon on the way past. That's pretty good. I really wish I had Jump Jet right now. I'm going to send this Hammerhead over to the back pad and kill this Talon on the way past. This Hammerhead might just live long enough to fire the missile, honestly. Oh no, because I'm about to lose in the middle pad as well. It's not good. Oh man, the Grens are going to die again. These Grens have been very underwhelming, I have to say. They just die way easier than the Predator would. Yeah, look, I'm out of money. I had a ton of money and now I'm out. So yeah, I think the Grens are a lot worse than Predator in that matchup. Predator just wouldn't die anywhere near that easily.
Our base has been destroyed.
Like, what does he have that kills Predator? Only the jump jets, really? So yeah, I think I lost that game because I had Grens instead of Predator. Because that matchup's really good with Predator.
Three, two, one. New objective available.
Alright, we are on 2 fuses again for some reason. Apparently we're only going to play on 2 fuses for all the time.
We've got this.
Unit ready.
We've got this. We've got this. They don't stand a chance. You got it.
So we're going to obviously start this rifle fight. We're winning it so far, so there's no reason to change yet. Might go shots if we get blocked.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Riflemen await leading. Marching. They don't stand a chance. Unit ready.
Catch it. I guess we go Pitbull because we can't afford Hammerhead, but Hammerhead would be much better here. But Hammerhead is way too expensive to switch into. It's going to be pretty annoying trying to fight cat ships on this map, especially when we have shock troopers in the deck, which are horrible against cat ship. I'm going to boost this Pitbull because I need to get rid of the cat ship. There we go. Put the shots over here. Alright, so we should get this missile, although we're going to sacrifice a lot of money for it. These shots are going to take a ton of damage. Yeah, I need Hammerhead, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a Hammerhead here. Okay. Alright, let's get Hammerhead. And we'll get some missile troops as well. Probably going to see missiles from the opponent next, so I'm going to go shots. Wow, Phantom, okay. I'm okay with that. Hammerhead does pretty well against Phantom, honestly. Oh, you need to run the Phantom away after shooting against the Hammerhead. Hammerhead wins if you just stand there and fight. Phantom wins that fight by retreating and coming back. He doesn't win by standing still and fighting. Kind of thought this first Hammerhead was going to die, so I made a new one, but that hasn't happened yet. Oh, I missed the block down there. I'm actually going to lose this missile because I'm top cap. Maybe the shots get on the path? Nice, they do. And we'll go Pitbull for over here. Not sure we have enough time. We could get blocked by the pikes. No, no block. Right, cool. Should be okay then. We're going to win the missile now. Let's drop over here. Well, oh, the cat ship. Cat ship is a problem. Can't afford Hammerhead either. Should be okay though. There isn't another air unit to take the bottom pad. Alright, cool. Kind of tough matchup there. And again, the Predator's better than the Predator and the Grens are both bad in that matchup, but I think the Predator's probably better.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
Alright, up against Kyle.
Harvester
No
ready.
rush coming, so we'll go right, we'll go Harvester. There's some missiles. If they head up here, I would ignore them and just send another rifleman to interact.
Unit
Yeah,
ready.
we'll just get a second rifleman here. There's a shock trooper, so we're going to back up and get the concave. I'm also just going to go my own shocks, I think,
Unit ready.
because I need to be on defense against his shocks. So we win the first fight with the concave. We're going to move over here. We want to be charging this missile. That's second half, so yeah, we really want to be charging this missile, but he's blocking us. I'm just going to wait till this guy dies. There it is. So we're at 40 seconds, which is already pretty late. Could send a Gren at his half. I'm thinking about it. I think I will. I couldn't do this with a Predator. This is definitely upside on Grens, but I feel like the shocks are going to stop them anyway. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Enhanced.
Grens do kill Harvester very quickly. Yeah, we kind of annihilated that half. Although we did spend 70 on the Grens and 30 on the boost. So we are up, we're actually down 20 on that exchange. But we kill his Harvester, we distracted him from the missile. Although, if he'd ignored the Grens and gone for the missile instead, because like, we had a Gren unit up here doing nothing, he could have maybe stolen it. And that would have been way more impactful than the Harvester kill. So overall, I think going after the Harvester was not worth it. Even though we did get the missile and the Harvester kill. It was just like, we were kind of lucky to get away with it. But we shouldn't really have succeeded there.
Unit lost.
I'm going to boost this Gren because I want it to be as intact as possible.
Unit ready.
Shock even, not Gren. Yeah, so in a shock mirror, the important thing is just to be on defense, pretty much. So it's just really important to have good position.
Unit lost.
And he obviously has tech, so he's probably going to have a Wolverine coming out soon. Or something. Maybe a Disruptor. Looks like it might be too late, though. We're about to win the game. Yeah, whatever it is, it's going to be too late. Alright, cool. No idea what it was. Just won the shock mirror. And there's an Orca that doesn't do anything. Alright, nice.
You are victorious.
Like, how are you going to play without Pitbull?
3, 2, 1. New objective available.
Little Floppy. Alright then.
Harvester ready.
Riflemen awaiting orders. Infantry ready.
Wheels and rifles, no half. Okay, interesting.
Unit ready.
Unit ready.
So we'll go missiles here.
Look, riflemen
This could be a matchup where the Grens are better than the Predator. Although he has a buggy and like Predator's insane versus buggy. Although I can go for Grens quicker than Predator because they're cheaper because I don't have to build a new building for them. So there is some upside there. Still not going to be fast enough for first missile, like we're still obviously going to lose first missile. So not that much upside really. Like either way they're still too slow. 70 cost is too much for first missile regardless of whether or not I have to build a new building. So it's kind of irrelevant that they were a little bit faster. Alright, so we're probably just looking to do Grens and shots against no half.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Obviously the way no half functions, they normally get first missile because they have the extra 60 from not building a harvester and they have an extra pop cap. But once first missile fires and they start running out of money, then one half tends to just run them over with expensive units. Which is kind of what we're seeing here. Like I just have shots and Grens and they're just way too expensive for my opponent to deal with. Like they're just too beefy, they're just too strong. So I do think the Grens are decent in this matchup. Like Predator probably would have been the same though. Like it doesn't really feel like a dramatic difference between those two units. Either way I'd just make expensive units and win. So it doesn't really make a difference.
Unit lost.
I'm gonna try and line it up so it's a shock and a Gren in alternating formation.
Unit enhanced.
Actually gonna try and suicide this Gren. Also this is another thing, like a Predator on low hit points is still pretty useful, a Gren on low hit points is so much worse. Like I can lose a game because of a pop cap Gren not being able to kill a buggy, which is never gonna happen with a Predator. Yeah, I mean I could make Tipple as well I guess, but there's not really a reason to. Just like shocks and Grens have everything covered. Probably want to move this harvester onto a pad now.
Unit ready.
Alright, so yeah, that's kind of how no half works.
Unit lost.
Alright, well, that's some number of games. This is why I don't do ladder videos that much a lot of the time, because as you can see there's a lot of games where I just win with levels. Like ladder has a lot of level based wins. Ladder is kind of a joke. It also depends on the time of day I play at. Like sometimes I just queue into like Pathlogon a million times, but I didn't queue into him at all today. But yeah, there's the deck with Grens instead. I kind of feel like the only matchup, we lost one game and it was against Great Boy playing an APC deck, and we would have won it with Predator, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think Predator would have been so much better than Gren here. So, yeah, none of the other games I think it mattered, really. Like, Gren and Predator were about the same, pretty much always. Except the one game where they were worse and we lost. So, there you go. I don't really understand why Grens are so bad, man. Like, it doesn't make sense. Their stats aren't that bad, but for some reason, just whenever you use them, they're always so underwhelming. So yeah, Grens, bad unit, man, bad unit. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. It's Byah deck with Grens instead of tanks. And yeah, don't play it. Play the tanks instead. It's just better. The Grens are faster, but I don't think it helps enough. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. See you next time.